Alright. We can finally begin and get to the other side. Alright, so let's get going. We're a bit late right now, so let's go. Let's just go. Hello?
Team shot. Yo, okay, but here's the thing. Home is where the start is. That's an amazing title.
Okay, what's up, guys?
Yeah.
Hey, what's up, Goggles?
Hey Goggles, we've just been waiting.
Alright, sorry about that. Some things came up. Alright, so,
Do not worry.
Alright, so, let's get started. We got a lot to do. So, hello, everyone.
We
Welcome.
we sure do. My notes are ready. So let's talk about the
Same.
episode and let's just talk about the episode right
Alright,
now
well, hold
because
on.
Let's
it's
just
the
get
one.
the episode out.
Hold on,
over
real
and done
quick.
with. Goggles, you're first.
Real quick. Before we start anything, how does the audio sound? How does everything sound right now?
Let me check. Let me check.
Because there's one thing I want to know right now before we get into details.
Okay. Here's the thing.
Hello?
Hey
Wait.
Goggles, we can hear you.
Hey, Fallen Hero.
Okay, so we are all audible. Everyone can listen to us. So
Oh,
yeah.
okay, we're good. Okay, so
People, okay, people in the chat, if one of us three is not, talking as loud as we should, please let us know. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
But
thank
yeah,
you.
let's start with this week's and the final PokeChat of the month. Let's go.
alright, so with that said, hello everyone, welcome back to PokeChat Live Deluxe. Obviously, I have Red Rose and Coral with me. Say hello.
Hello.
Hello, everybody.
Alright, and obviously, we're jumping into right now because we have a lot to talk about, and frankly, we don't know how long we're going to be here, so let's get going. We're going to start things off, obviously, now with the episode review, which is not the. Obviously, like, compared to what we got yesterday, is nothing that big, but I will give the summary, so here we go. Koharu is gonna be spending the night over at what's her name again? What's the researcher's name? The female
Kikuna.
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 They're gonna have a sleepover at Kikuna's house, and she has an obsession with Psyducks, which I don't know why. Well, I know why, but still. Anyways, Ash and Go decide to go ahead and Ash and Go. Someone answers all those questions for me real quick. Ash and Go decide to go out and check out the sea because of the cold climate, the cold weather right now, there's a good chance of ice type Pokemon appearing because they love the ice, because they're ice types. Anyways, we get a nice moment where like Kikune and Koharu are like bonding together. They go to her apartment. It's messy as heck, which I like that character trait. Ash and Go couldn't find anything. They eat ramen. They meet up with some guy with a side duck. Kikuna talks about like how she almost gave up being a researcher until she met what's his name in the side duck. I don't know. I don't remember his name. Or nor do I think they give him a name.
The guy doesn't have a name. He's just a Psyduck trainer or the
Psyduck.
ramen dude.
Ramen guy.
It's ramen guy. Yeah.
Uh, After hearing what went down, Koharu assumes that she lost her love until Ash and Go mentioned that they met some guy with a Psyduck too. They go trying to find him. They couldn't. The Psyduck comforts Koharu because she's sad. They meet up. We all think it's gonna be like an emotional, like teary romance episode. It's a fake out. She only cared about the Psyduck, but she still liked the guy. They take a photo. Episode over. Reason I'm going so fast because we got a lot to deal with. So here's what I gotta say for this episode. The episode's fine. It's not bad. It's not good, but it's a nice wholesome episode. This is one of the episodes I actually do like, and this is one of the reasons things why I like Journey so much. Whenever they do wholesome episodes, they can be funny, but also pretty good too. Like I like the idea that Kikuna was dealing with depression because hang on. Because like that does happen in real life with like adults. Was like if you're in college, like you do get into depression, and you often someone is there to help you out, which is good to show that like you. It's good to have your friends with you when you're going through stuff like that. So I like that. I also like how the side that was also motivation for her specifically to become a researcher because if she gave up, she would not be in the series obviously enough. Nor I don't think anyone would care for her. But the only gripe I have with this episode, I feel like I'm sure many of us would agree, this should have happened episodes ago, much like with many Journey's episodes. This should have happened episodes ago, but I'm not gonna let that deal away, throw away any negativity. Like this episode was nice. I like how Ash and Go were like sidelined and that's about it. I just like the idea that Koharu and her had a sleepover. Rating 7.5. All right, Red Rose, you're next.
Yeah, because if you think because if you think about it, just want to say something. If you think about it, like we don't see Cinderace, we don't see any of Ash's Pokemon besides Pikachu and Gengar, which Koharu in universe states that maybe he's cranky because Ash doesn't spend time with him. So even in universe, they realize that Ash not spending time with his
Oh,
Pokemon.
that's another
But
thing too. Actually, I forgot to mention.
but if you discount the appearance of Sobol in the electrical plug, it could have been any other Pokemon, like Misdreavus, for example. Since it's a Gengar pulling pranks, Misdreavus could be pulling pranks as well because she's a ghost. So if you discount like if you replaced Misdreavus with another Pokemon, this could have happened in episode 17, but because it's Sobol and Sobol, like for Sobol alone, this could have been in episode 29. But since Sobol is not a crybaby anymore, of course, that the episode is placed where it is. But yeah, it feels very disjointed, given an element or two. I have to agree because we don't see Cinderace, so this episode could have happened while he was still a reboot.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, actually, no, Eevee's here, so that kind of derates what we just said. Because Eevee was caught when Cinderace was already in Cinderace. But
Oh yeah, yeah. Like
Red Rose,
you
go
said that
ahead.
there's like a cool possibility. Oh, well, yeah. So what I liked about this episode, firstly, I think it was a fun. I don't know if it was intended as like a little like fourth wall break, but I thought it was funny when they were like, oh, maybe Gengar's sick of Ash leaving it behind all the time, which is like one of the main problems of journeys, to be honest. Like, I I, I thought that was really funny. It was also cute. We finally got to see that Gengar Eevee interaction we saw in the preview, which is just so great. Gengar is my favorite of Ash's Journeys team currently. I also just think it was a cool episode for Kaharu, but especially Kakuna, because these lab assistants, like, they've been shown to help and be, like, big siblings. They're like part of the family, and they also work and stuff. To Go and Koharu, for example, how Renji, is that the blonde one with the
Yeah,
Magnum eyes?
Renji. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Renji. It's shown in the school episode that he helps Go with like his like homework and stuff, and you get to see flashbacks of him, letting Koharu, ride him like a horse, like they're all very close, and this episode showed that, especially with Kakuna. I honestly, it was a good episode just as a filler on its own, but you know it was kind of underwhelming. Like it wasn't anything special, but obviously, because since it's a filler, I feel like we could have done with something to make it interesting. Honestly, I would rate. I'll just give my rating now. 6 out of 10. It's pretty harmless. Also, oh yeah, and all of the references in Kakuna's room with side ups, like
Mm-hmm.
with the albums and stuff. There were so many like neat references that they didn't have to include, which is always welcome.
Yeah.
Honestly, that's all I have to say about this episode. Quite frankly, Kuro, it's your turn.
Uh, yeah. So I have to join you on that one. Like this episode is decent at best. It doesn't deliver too much, but then again, the premise being a filler, a slice of life, it didn't promise too much. So the episode, it met the expectations that this episode should have been since the very beginning. Um, so yeah, like I love the idea that they are going with the assistants, because well, Go, when he was in school, the episode where Koharu caught Eevee, he basically does the research in the lab instead of doing class, but he still has to go to school to do the exams, and off screen, of course it's off screen, but he asks Renji for help. So Koharu being with Kikuna, it kind of balances out the assistants, and it gives the assistants more light to shine, because when we see assistants of professors, they really, like, for example, the ladies from Sycamore, like they only were in the lab Like the only assistant that we predominantly know, it most likely it's Tracy. And Tracy, oh, he's long gone, man. He's long gone.
Yeah,
Like Rowan had assistants, yeah. Juniper had, but who cares about those? Kukui, like Kukui had Burnett. Kukui had no assistant. Burnett was just his wife. And she also was a professor on her own. Birch had that one dude. Elm, Helmet, no one, and Oak had no one besides Tracy showing up. So yeah, Sakuragi having assistants and assistants having being actual characters with families. We now know that Kikuna has a mother. We already know that she had a sister, so we are waiting for that. Maybe the sister, it's the girl that walks Koharu's school because she's also a brunette. That still need to be confirmed. Um, but yeah, I like the episode. Again, it didn't do much. Like we already saw Psyduck and Journeys, the shiny one from the Goler crate. And if we didn't have that episode, like the Psyduck that most people would of course recognize one day, it would be Misty's Psyduck. Of course, that this episode and the next one they are more mellowed down episodes because the Pokemon hype it's for another thing, and that is the next topic that we are going to talk about. But the
hmm
idea that we have Psyduck blocked the fog route of Sinnoh, and the next episode we are going to have, Turtwig. So they are having plug anime within the next games. However, the series being disjointed, it allows them to have that. But yeah, like I love the Gengar, I love the EV. We actually see, the assistants work, which is great. We see a moment between Yamper and Sota, which is great. We need more of those, but we need more Yamper with Koharu. We saw Koharu's mom, we saw Koharu's dad, uh, Ash wanting to help Go, and well, Go, you are not going to get Lapras, buddy. If Ashes doesn't return to him, you will not get your own. But then again, you got a tail, so what do I know of? Um, so yeah, I love the episode. They go to eat ramen, and of course that you have the twist in the end where I she wanted to be a researcher, yada yada yada, and in the end, yeah, the she wanted to meet more Psyduck than the actual ramen dude, but they take the photo, and she and Kikuna basically tells Koharu, "Thank you for the emotional reunion," and but at least we know that Koharu it's a hopeless romantic, and as a Vermilion shipper. Hashtag, by the way. I really hope that we see more of her sides with Go. We kind of saw a moment of that because Ash was running down the staircase, but Go stopped. Like, okay, you have your dream, you have mine. Like, I help you capture Eevee, you're supporting, but at least Go talks with Koharu, and Koharu realized that she could ask Ash and Go for help, but she wants to do her things her own way, like Ash and Go do their own. Because Go being an intellectual smirk ass, and Ash basically doesn't know academic stuff. Like Ash just goes with Zush and Zash. Honestly, I believe that after they return home, Go is the one that has to do the reports, and he has to be Ash's translator, because
yeah.
how can you academically report the word "kachow"? Like, come on, I don't think you can do that. Also, the Office Pikachu, there was a Psyduck, Office Psyduck, so there's a toy callback. This episode's about a Psyduck that likes to eat. It's Journeys 57. In episode 57 of the original series, shout out to our friend Polly, aka Age of Trades, by the way. She pointed out that there was the episode when Butch and Cassidy showed up. Uh, when they debuted in the original series, it was also 57, and there was this guy who liked to cook, and his favorite Pokemon is a Psyduck. Maybe it's a reference, maybe it's not, maybe it's not. But we see a Psyduck in the light and then the rainbow. So that's also a hint for Sinnoh because Arc is fragmenting the light of the plates, but it's also a Pink Floyd reference because it's the Pink Floyd disc of the dark side of the moon, or as our buddy DJ Sock Puppets quoted, the dark side of the moon. So it's Pinko Floyd Duck. So it's called Duck Pink Floyd. Pinko Floyd Duck. Oh man, this is just again. This is amazing episode. It doesn't do much, but what it does great. Also, Koharu and Kikuna going shopping. That's wholesome. We see the Bansham things. and we also see Arceus's golden ring in the gate to Kikuna's apartment door. So that's amazing. Again, this episode, it doesn't do much, but what it does, it's amazing, and it gives us amazing surprisings. The music, the intro music, and the music when Koharu enters the room, like solid 7 out of 10.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
would just, I'd agree.
all right,
Like, it just wasn't more remarkable, but that doesn't mean it was just no.
all right, all right.
Yeah.
Since it's a small cast, I was already obviously enough. It's time for us to go on to the next topic, which is probably the biggest, the thing that many people want us to talk about more than the episode. Which, to be fair, same here. So, all right, here we go, folks. It's time for us to. Oh wait, wrong image. There we go. There we go. All right, ladies and gentlemen. Obviously, last night or yesterday or evening, whatever you have it, we had a Pokemon Direct early in the morning for me personally. And hang on, someone wanted to join, so I'm gonna let him know that he can join now. So obviously last night we got some announcements of some new
Also,
games.
also this ep- also the episode didn't have no Lucario or Team Rocket, so pog.
Oh my goodness. Anyways, uh, Nintendo Direct. I'm not Nintendo Direct. The Pokemon Direct happened yesterday, and obviously we got some announcements. Some info about Snap. Two new games are coming out. One late 2021 and the other early 2022. And we'll get to those when we get to those. But first, I think it's we gotta go. I say we go into order and we talk about Pokemon Snap real quick. Just giving more details of how we feel
Yeah.
about the game, given the fact that we got some new info and like some new screenshots or like some new footage. Now, personally, I am excited for Pokemon Snap, Pokemon or New Snap. I did grow up with Pokemon Snap back when I was a kid. It was one of my first few games of the spin-off series of Pokemon. So obviously, this game I'm excited for this game. From what it looks like, they all staying true to the original in terms of like keeping like the puzzles or like the little Easter eggs or like the little gimmicks that this game had, like the apples and the I don't know if the password's still gonna be here or not, but I do know they're adding a new feature, like a new item, which allows Pokemon to glow. Not gonna lie, it looks pretty cool and
Yeah,
it's
the
cool.
Illumina orbs or the
Yeah,
Illumina phenomenon.
yeah, the Illuminon phenomenon, which I personally I think it looks
Yeah.
pretty nice, especially at nighttime, especially with Skull Bunny because he had blue
Yeah,
fire.
with Scorbunny emanating blue flames.
I love that. I love that so much. Um, but no, like I have full faith in this game, in this remake, especially since like they told us we could post photos online, which is literally social media for Pokemon now. So hopefully it's better than the freaking Rotom thing from Sun and Moon because that was annoying. There was barely any difference to begin with. Anyways, other than that though, I'm just hyped for Snap. Like Snap, out of the 3 ones, this one's the least one, and that's only because it's coming pretty soon. So that means I get to play it soon. Hopefully, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it, but if I get it, I might stream it. That all depends on, but I highly doubt it because I still. Something's going on with that job I'm applying for, so I don't know if I'm going to get that job. But I'll talk about that later on with you guys. But that's pretty much all I got to say. Red Rose, you want to talk about Snap for a little bit?
Honestly, I'm pretty okay. So I never really played Pokemon Snap myself. I did watch like people play for a bit when I was younger, so I do know like interesting stuff. It looks like a really good like the game itself looks really beautiful. Um, it was made by Bandai Namco, I believe, and they did
Yeah.
a spectacular job with the game.
They
Not
also
only are
did
the Pokemon.
Pokken, so
Yeah, exactly. Not only just like Pokemon, the Pokemon models look absolutely amazing. Just the environments, lighting, animations, it all looks like terrific. So
mhm.
that's one main thing that stands out to me. This Illumina phenomenon seems really interesting, and I think it's just mainly going to be to boost your photo score or whatever it is. But one thing that I'm thinking about is maybe how it will impact the anime because if you if you think about it, the Illumina phenomenon. There may be reports that have been seen, and goes to investigate. Therefore, he catches it. Imagine Cinderace using a blue pyro ball. That would look
Um,
so
that would be
ridiculous.
amazing, but sadly, then again, they can break the pattern. But if they don't,
Yeah,
I don't see it happen because
yeah,
Illumina phenomenon happens. We don't know if it can. I can feel that the Illumina phenomenon can be natural, but
mhm,
artificially created as well because we see the bioluminescent flowers. That's how Meganium gets the giant size of the Illumina phenomenon. However, Professor
yes,
Mirror giving you the Illumina orbs, they're like the bombs from Breath of the Wild. They
yeah,
make Pokemon glow at night because, again, Pokemon Snap was released in Generation 1. We didn't have day and night cycles. Heck, now we can actually go underwater and actually go into the desert. So we now have a day and night cycle and the new
yeah,
features from like you cannot compare a camera from 1999 to a camera of nowadays. Okay, so
yeah, yeah,
photography in the Pokemon world, it's literally a brand new world. Like we see Todd Snap returns as a mentor. We see in the trailer Todd Snap is there, and we get two rivals in the names of Rita and Phil. I really hope that the protags are called Pixel and Flash as default names, please. But the idea of the Illumina phenomenon is, I think it's going to be very artificial and therefore not being in the anime. However, I think if it is, maybe as a reference, but not shown, because again, we saw Todd Snap in the anime 2 to 3 times, if I recall correctly. So we can have his return, and maybe he talks about the Lental region, the Illumina phenomenon, but because it's not a main game region, Ash and Go will not go there. And I like to believe that the Illumina phenomenon, giving Pokemon light, it's like the foil, the artificial foil of the Shadow Pokemon. Because they always like to go with shadow and darkness and light and brilliant and shining. Shameless plug right here. Yeah, it's basically artificial stuff to make Pokemon better and brighter in a whole new light or darkness. But yeah, it's for side games. Don't expect it to see it in the anime.
it's just,
Maybe.
it was just like it was just like all that they did it. But yeah, as I was saying, not only that, I think well, I don't think I'd personally go into the main game, but I can see like it does look really stunning. Kuro, I know you just said a lot, but if there's anything else you really want to add,
No,
then
no, 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 no. Sorry for interrupting. I was just like,
nah,
I just
you
wanted,
didn't. Just
I just wanted to make sure that you didn't downrail with the Illumina phenomenon for the anime because I don't think it's going to happen. So,
yeah, I don't
not,
either. Just thought it would
not,
be.
not wanting to cut your hopes up, but we need
No,
a middle ground.
I wasn't hoping to. I was just like thinking if they did, if they somehow did,
Oh,
because
definitely.
it
Yeah,
looks like Celebi's gonna be in the game as well.
yeah. Honestly, the one thing that I want for Celebi to be here, it's Go for the Pokemon Snap because we saw Mew in the Rainbow Cloud, so that's for Go. Tokyo, Celebi. Tokyo gets Celebi. Time travel to the past. See no prequels arc. We can have a road trip. We can have a time travel arc. That's
Wait,
all I want for Journey.
that's what I was gonna say for the Sinnoh prequels, but it's okay. We can move to the Arceus games.
No, but like I actually love this game because Pokemon Snap. Think about it. Like you are looking at the cover. The cover doesn't have Sobble. Why? Because Sobble is invisible. You have to do something to trigger Sobble's uninvisibility. So it's like Kecleon. We see various patterns of Vivillon. So this region, the Lental region, is going to have different biomes for all Vivillon patterns to appear. Maybe by throwing various pest balls, you can trigger a Spupa to become the Pokeball Vivillon. Um, so like because Vivillons you can see like 3 or 4 in the cover, and like we have an Unpheasant. We have an Unpheasant in the game. God damn, like they really went with it. But yeah, I actually
Oh,
the new Pokemon Snap. It really it and don't forget that the original one only had 63 out of the 151. Now we are going to have 898. So this game most likely will only have around 400 or 500, and we see lots of starters. So I really want for them to, basically canonize, because this is a theory since Gen 1, like the Pokemon Island of Pokemon Snap being the home where the starters are from, because we see starters and we see eggs of the Kanto birds. So I want for this region, because we have starters from Kanto, Johto, wherever more, and even Galar. I want for this game to canonize the fact that the Lental region is where starters are born in the wild in regards to game lore. If they do it, of course not, because that's telling a story and they just want to make money.
Yeah.
Fair.
Well, do you guys want to move on to one of the main events, the Sinnoh remake? This was only.
Also, we can share all of the Pokemon Snap stuff in social media, so that's going to be interesting, and we can get points. Like you know how you can get points and coins with Smash. You
Hmm.
can get that now with the new Pokemon Snap. So instead of competing in Smash, we can just basically take photos, and that will be our Bitcoin currency for digital games, or even monthly subscriptions for the or like it's going to be amazing, man. It's Bandai Namco. They did Pokken, even though Pokken didn't have DLCs besides that Blastoise and EG/1. So do not expect for this game to also have DLCs, like, oh, it's 400 500 Pokemon, and then we're going to get also DLCs for more areas of the region. No, 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 no. We don't expect DLC for the new Pokemon Snap, sadly. We'll get what we'll get, and honestly, I think that is good enough.
Honestly, I forgot that
The
Pokemon had DLCs. To be honest.
Yeah, because they never did, for example, a seasonal pass, like each 3 months you get a new fighter and a new support set.
Yeah,
They should have done it.
yeah, like
Like I don't know why. I
fighters.
don't know why because it's Bandai Namco. Bandai Namco does Gundam games, and you know what they do for the Gundam DLC? It's basically recolor a Gundam and give the Gundam a new weapon from a pre-existing one. It's basically pulling off a Bionicle with the Gundams. If they can do that for one franchise, why not try to get more money out of Pokemon? Like, oh, each 3 months we get a new fighter, and each 3 months you get a new fighter and a support set, and that costs you $5 to $10 more. They could do it. I don't know why they never tried that. For it's on the Switch for 3.5 years. I don't know what's going on. Like, they have potential to make money and they waste it. Because Holucha is jumping on that trampoline since 2015, man. Holucha is jumping for 6 years
I didn't know
since
how.
the arcade game.
I didn't even know
For
how.
Holucha.
I didn't even know how Lucha was in the game.
Yeah, exactly. You see, you have to have a keen eye. You have to actually record and screenshot things from the game to
To be
actually see
fair,
that Pokemon.
I stopped playing Pokemon long ago. The only reason I played it was because
Like in the, like for example, the dragon the dragon nests, because it's Pokemon and Tekken. The dragon's nest, that's a stadium in the actual Tekken. They just replaced the Chinese dragon with the Rayquaza, Mega Rayquaza. The volcano, you can see Heatran walking around that volcano. Because the thing about the Farum region in Pokken is that the Farum region it's in Iriomote Island in the Ryukyuan archipelago of Japan. It's the farthest island from Japan. Um, that's why all Pokemon are from all regions, because they all migrate there. Because of the Gaia power, it lures Pokemon to go there, and it's the birthplace of karate. That's why Pokemon battle the way they do. It's Pokemon karate.
Yeah. Well,
Anyways, I don't want to talk about
I think we're both getting a
this,
bit
this. This is not about Pokken, and I already give my
Yeah.
thoughts on Snap. Rose, you can continue on with yours if you have more. Sorry for interrupting
No,
with the
I
Olympic
don't.
stuff.
Mine's fine. I don't it doesn't matter. But honestly, yeah, I'm kind of interested in the games, but I don't think I'll be getting it now.
Hmm.
But I think now we should just, unless you have any more to say, we should move to the DP remake.
Let's go.
All right, so
Yeah.
folks, yes, after who knows how long the fans have been demanding it, it finally happened yesterday.
7 years.
We have got confirmation. It's been confirmed, and we got announced that we are getting the Gen 4 remakes of Diamond and Pearl, being a Pokemon Brilliant Diamond and Pokemon Shining Pearl. And honestly, first off, I gotta ask, why Brilliant and Shiny? Could someone explain that to
I
me?
know. I know.
Go ahead,
I know.
explain it.
So here's the thing. First of all, it's a remake, but it's a remake in terms of name. It's more of a port, like Link's Awakening. Because this is My Sims, it's Let's Go, it's Link's Awakening, it's Animal Crossing. It's a faithful remake, so it's not a remake. It's more of a port for the game. Like, we see blends of a remake because it's not the original. So because the graphics are more polished and refined, that's why the name is Brilliant and Shining because of the adamant and the lustrous orb. We don't know if we are going to get platinum elements. Maybe yes, because there's an NPC in Floroma that's from platinum. Brilliant and Shining. They are associated with light. Lucas comes from the word lux, that's light in Latin, and dawn, the dawn of the sun. So therefore, you have light. So yeah. Also, the name, the letters are BS. They really know what they are doing because they are giving the remakes not to Game Freak because, well, and Masuda is in charge. So if the remakes flop, but the prequels don't, you know who to blame. You know who to blame because people get remakes, but not the thing they wanted. So take that, Gino. Take that, Sino Stance. You asked for something, but do you really want it this way? Nope. You wanted the open world? The veterans get the open world. Um, but yeah, this pleases old and new players alike. I will not buy the Sinnoh remakes. I'm going to save my money for the new Snap this year. Um, but I'll see gameplays. Don't. That's not the issue. But yeah, I actually yeah. So Brilliant and Shining. That's because of the light stuff, from Diamond and Pearl. And remember when back in Diamond and Pearl and Platinum you could polish your badges and they were shining, and you can basically play music with the badges because they were do re mi fa sol la si do notes.
Yep.
Uh, we cannot do that here because we don't have
Wait,
a second screen.
so
So
I
I'm
hate to
really
interrupt
hoping to see
you.
what they will do without the lack
I,
of that.
I hate to
Not to
interrupt
mention,
you,
not
but
to
you're
mention
running.
how they are going to incorporate the Poketch and the Underground because we do have Underground. We see the clowns that give you the coupons for the Poketch, but without a second screen because that's the thing. Nintendo DS, the DS stands for dual screen. So we need to see how they are going to go from two screens into one. It's kind of like the opposite from Auras because they went Ruby and Sapphire was one screen, in Auras it was two. So we have to wait and see. But yeah, that's the whole premise of why the names are Brilliant and Shining. It's because of the jewels and because of the graphics.
Okay. All right.
Hmm.
Now, thank you, Cole, for the explanation, as always. Now,
As always.
for my take for the DP remakes, I don't know how to feel about them. And let me explain real quick. I'm not saying, okay, back in like 2018 or 2016, around those rounds. Long story short, I was hyped for remakes, DP remakes, because I was Gen 4 was where I started. That was my home region, so I am happy with going back to Sinnoh again. Unfortunately, I took more and more thought into it. And I'm like, yeah, I think it's best if they make DLCs instead of a remake. But I'm gonna give the remakes a shot because obviously it's Gen 4, and I do have nostalgic factor for Gen 4. I feel like because of Gen 4 and Zoro's in the wrong chat, Gen 4 to me is always gonna hold a special place in my heart. So I'm happy to revisit it. I can't wait. I can't wait to play through it again. The one thing I hope though, I just hope they don't baby the game. And by that I mean I hope they actually give us a challenge because this is. I feel like many people can agree this is like the most challenging Pokemon game ever in terms of the main series. Well, up to that point, I believe. And we all know
Well,
who we.
we are going to have the experience share for every Pokemon because it's a faithful remake, but with things from the modern era. So the experience share is going to be for all. So people challenging the Pokemon League, they will most likely defeat Cynthia at the first try and not have the struggles from 15 years ago.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate part because, well, no, not even just that. Not even with the experience show on, like most gemly, most iconic characters, Pokemon don't even have a full move set. I know in Oras, Maxine and Ulchi, the final battle you have with them, Camerupt and Sharpedo don't even know a water type move or a fire type move. What type of what type of stuff is
Yeah,
that?
it's yeah. Gen 6 had that problem. Like for example, in Kalos, many trainers, including gym leaders and Elite Four members, Elite Four members never had a fifth Pokemon. They always stopped in four. Gym leaders, they always went from 2 to 5, but they stopped at 3. And many gym leaders and even rivals, Pokemon never had a third or even a fourth move. And that's the thing. It's a faithful remake. Okay, I get it. But this is more of a port. So are you going to have a Rotom bike or are you going to have to teach HMs to your Pokemon again? That's and are are the seal capsules there? Are the contests there? Are is it going to have platinum elements because people want to go to the battle zone for the battle frontier and the battlegrounds? Is it that going to be there because that's platinum? That's not diamond and pearl content. So because people when people want Sinnoh remakes, people want to revisit the region more than actually returning to the original Diamond and Pearl and not having platinum elements like the Wi-Fi Plaza or and people are going to get pissed for actually wanting the thing they for actually getting the thing they wanted. I told you, remakes are a bad idea, but here's the thing: people will complain, people will be delighted, people will be distraught, but in and most likely disappointed. But in the end of the day, people can complain, but they will always buy the game, and therefore your wallet is never yours. It's already theirs. You lose.
Yeah,
A game can be shitty as product. It has Pokemon in the title. You're going to buy it.
yeah. Unfortunately, that's how Pokemon is nowadays. But even still, though, like
It's called marketing.
even
It's called marketing, bitch.
even still, though,
Oh, okay.
I
Fallen Hero brings the good point. Fairy types to make Cynthia easier. Yeah. Are they going to have fairy types in this region?
well, Fairy Tail one Gen, the Let's Go games. I don't see why not. Like
True,
I feel like
true. So
I feel like people are taking like it's like a faithful remake to Heart. Is like no, I think what they just mean is like the story's gonna be the same. It's like I'm pretty sure that's
yeah.
all what it is. It's just the story's just the same.
I'm actually amazed by the fact that, for example, the statue of Eterna, the statue is supposed to be ambiguous because it's in 2D. In 3D, they merge the statue, like how they do in the manga. I honestly thought that is going to be version exclusive, or the statue would not be there at all, or distorted or destroyed in some capacity. But no, no, they fused the dragons. That doesn't mean that we are going to have a fusion. Or maybe it will. Like, we can have a corrupted, like, Giratina corrupting, because we have Kyurem and Necrozman, right? So maybe they want for, go with the fusion idea, like, corrupted Dialga, because Giratina absorbed Dialga, or corrupted Palkia. Honestly, the orbs creating cosmic versions, because cosmic links to heaven, and Giratina creating corrupted versions, because it links to hell. Okay, never mind. I want fusions now.
Oh my.
I want fusions now. Make it happen. At least this way, because this way makes logic. And you're talking about you're talking about the region that's about legends, mythos, lore, actually a goddamn story. Make it happen, game. Not Game Freak. Ikla, make it happen. Make it happen, please. You did need Automata. You did Drakengard. You did Naruto Shippuden Ultimate Ninja Storm 4. You did Yakuza 0. Make this for newbies or people who want the actual story from 15 years ago. Do this. Make fusions, corrupted and cosmic forms of the Algen Palkia.
I'm
If
curious.
you do that, I can actually consider and actually buy the game. Because I played Pearl with Chimchar, I played Platinum with Pimplop, I was going to buy Diamond for Turtwig. Give me a reason to actually buy the two Sinnoh games, okay? That's what I want.
I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm still gonna buy them because I'm a shill. But when the trailer came out, like, um, I'm pretty sure the entire like Pokemon community had the same reaction. Everybody was hyped with the countdown. 2016, 2013, 2011, 2007, and we were all flipping shit, right? And then we see
Mm-hmm.
the chibi, and we see it's just a direct remake. And I don't know, man. Like, I'm excited. I'm still excited. I'm still gonna get them, but part of me is just a bit frustrated that we aren't gonna get proper like Gen 8 engine Diamond and Pearl remakes. It's remedied because we have the Pokemon Legends, obviously, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel
I'll
that bad.
by the way, how are you doing, Zoro?
I'm good. How
Alright.
are you? How's
I'm
everybody?
doing good.
We already talked about Snap. If you have anything to say about Snap, it's
Nothing major. Looks good. I'll get it.
Okay.
I'm excited
okay.
to take
Uh,
pictures and stuff.
I will say this real quick about the chibi art style, like the way the DP remakes are gonna be handled. Honestly, I don't mind the chibiness. Like, I think it's like, if anything, this just makes them cute, especially Dawn. Chibi Dawn's cute. Don't judge me. But oh no.
I'm
Other than that
also
though, like it just looks fun. Like it just looks clean, nice. That's about it. Go ahead, Zoro.
I'm just I'm worried, because like with this, I don't think this is gonna have any connectivity with Sword and Shield
No, it looks like it's not.
other than Pokemon Home, which in my opinion kind of sucks to be honest. Like I feel like they're redefining what a generation is with this. Like usually generational games are all connected to each other, but if Legends and Diamond and Pearl and Sword and Shield all don't connect to each other, who's to say that they aren't all different generations? Or
Yeah.
or you know what I mean? Like, Let's Go is like generation 1 point or 7.5. So what? Sword and Shield is generation 8, Shining Diamond and I mean Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl are generation 1 point or 8.3. Pokemon Legends is generation 8.5.
Yeah, I think that's the we because of this we have to basically, and even when Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee was released, because it couldn't connect because it was in a different console. Um, the term generation, I think that it's now going as it always should be with the it's if the game starts with a brand new region, that's when a generation begins. So if we get a new region that's not based on anything of the
Makes sense.
predecessors, yeah, that's when Gen 9, like Gen 9 will still be on the Switch. Gen 10 is the post Switch console.
What was I gonna say? So like, and also if Diamond and Pearl remakes um don't have like more than the Pokemon that Diamond and Pearl had, who's to say that this isn't just a Generation 4.5? Because it's just an upgraded version of Generation 4 at that point if they don't have anything past Arceus.
Yeah, that's why I believe that they are saying remake and they are saying faithful more as nostalgia bait. This is more of a port. This is not a remake. This is more like a 3D port.
Yeah.
Which makes me wonder because we see the Floaroma lady from Platinum, and we do see a Porygon Z. Then again, just because Porygon Z is a Sinnoh Pokemon, but in game you can only obtain in Diamond and Pearl in the post game because Diamond and Pearl Pokedex it stops on Weavile, and the whole thing about Pokemon Diamond and Pearl is Professor Rowan studying Pokemon evolution, and while legendaries cannot evolve, then again we see Manaphy breeding Fion, and now we have Cosmog and Ultra Beasts are not legendary, but they are legendary like. And but we have Kubfu and Urshifu, and they are most likely native from Sinnoh. So yeah, like the whole premise of Sinnoh is Pokemon evolving from old ones and the Tangrowth onwards. That's the big chunk of old new Pokemon from old ones. You can only get that in the Platinum Dex because the Platinum Dex goes until 210, right? And the net and the Diamond and Pearl one, it goes until 151 with the Manaphy photo. And how will Manaphy be here? We weren't announced a Ranger 3-in-1 like I wanted. How will people get Manaphy just by watching the photo? Like they will just watch the photo, or maybe they will do Manaphy. You can get Manaphy as DLC, like you have to pay to get Manaphy. Um, Not to mention that if it's the Platinum Dex, they have to add Pokemon because they will have to add most likely besides Cupfu and Urshifu. I still believe that they are going to be here like the GTS building. We don't have GTS. We have Pokemon Home. What will the GTS building be? Um, will we see Honey closing the GTS? Will the GTS be a Pokeathlon Dome?
Exactly.
How will contests be incorporated? Um, Sylveon, like we get Leafeon and Glaceon here, so they need to have Sylveon and therefore fairy types.
Yeah, exactly. Like with other remakes like Oras and Heart Gold, and even Fire Red. Fire Red and Leaf Green obviously have the Sevi Islands, but Heart Gold and Soul Silver really like brought in inspirate like stuff from other games. Like they had, they brought Steven in as like a cameo, and then there's like
Yeah, and
there's
even
just more
and,
connectivity to
yeah,
Sinnoh, and same with
yeah,
Oras,
and
like Mega Evolution, and they referenced the Ultimate Weapon and AZ and all that. I don't think they're gonna reference anything about Sword and Shield in Diamond and Pearl.
I don't. If they do, it's text. It's text. It's not story implied because Dynamax energy, Dynamax particles, power spots. They are in Galar because Eternatus was in
Yeah,
Galar, and because of the chibi art style, we are not going to get Dynamax here. We might get Megas, but that's a 5% chance if they actually remember to actually give Megas.
Actually,
Because
I think it's been confirmed. Mega's all coming back.
no, that wasn't confirmed. It's just
that's
that
not confirmed, Goggles.
there's like
No,
That's
I got
promotional
stuff. I
material
got
about
stuff.
Mega Charizard and Lucario.
Then
yeah.
I
We
got.
might get Megas. We might get Megas, but that's just it. It's just like in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee. We also got Megas, even though they weren't in the original Red and Green, or even in Yellow for that matter. And because this is for Diamond and Pearl and not Platinum, uh, the other games is a prequel. So here's the thing: the other before that, if this is actually just Diamond and Pearl, are you saying that Gen 8 we are not going to have a Luker cameo because Luker cameoed in Platinum? Is Luker not going to be in Sinnoh? Um, are we going to have a send off spring or turn back cave for Giratina? Maybe not. Karen, will Karen from Team Galactic be there? We don't know. Uh, so like, and if it's Diamond and Pearl, of course, then I'm expecting that the gyms and the league rooms are from Diamond and Pearl, so there will be just those blend colors. And like, for example, Flint will not have a fire pool, Bertha will not have rocks, Aaron will not have tree trunks in the room, which is sad. But we have to wait and see. We have 9 months because when they say late, it's always November because that's when people get the Christmas bonuses to spend in September. So November, and they always released on Friday. So November 12, 19, or 26, or maybe they can surprise us and actually release the game on September 28th, 15 years after the originals were released. We'll have to wait and see. For the next game, early 2022. That can mean until June. So we have to wait roughly 15 months for the other game. I have 4 ideas for 4 dates, but I'll talk about it when I talk about it. I have to go for a moment, BRB.
Alright. So I guess we pretty much
Um,
said as much as we can for like the remakes. I guess like there wasn't much we got, and plus we got 8 months, so we could get some announcements what goes down. But for now, I'll just say this:
yeah.
I'm fine. Like it's not offending me. I know the criticisms. I know people are upset. And I respect that. Me, I'm just like, it's whatever with me. It's just all right. But all right, I think it's time for us to get into like I guess the last topic for today because this is the topic I feel like many of us want to talk about. Pokemon Legends Arceus, the prequel to the events of I guess every moment in Pokemon history. So, from what I can understand from the direct, they state this: this takes place long ago, back when they were about to create the very first Pokedex in the Sinnoh region. So trainers around the world came together to help out. And I did. First off, can I just say,
Yeah.
I know they said it's not an unofficial gameplay, but like just from the looks at it alone, it looks nice. Like this is probably one of the most nicest Pokemon games I've ever seen in a long time. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
we
There
don't.
was
Go ahead.
there was a in the trailer, like you can clearly tell that this game's still in development because like there's a lot of like choppy frame drops and all and not frame drops but like just like weird things. Like for example, there was a part in the trailer with a Chingling and the Chingling like didn't like float up and down. It like it like teleported because it was like just really choppy. So I'm assuming like I obviously have faith that they'll be able to fix all of that before
Yeah, they have like
I'm done.
they have a
Next year.
full
They have plenty of time.
yeah they have a full
I'm
year.
really I'm yeah, I'm really excited. But anyway, continue with what you were saying.
All right, so I gotta say this though. I love the idea. I love the concept of like a prequel game to what.
I'm back, by the way.
There you go. We're on Legends now. I love the idea of a
Nice.
prequel game that takes place before the events of any Pokemon game in history. I like the idea that hang on, sorry. I like the idea that like they like the characters like the protagonists live in like this like ancient Renaissance like village. And one thing I'm glad, one
Not
thing
Renaissance.
well, uh,
It's not Renaissance. It's not
my
Renaissance.
friend,
It's not
I
medieval.
told I told my friend if I was using the correct term. He said, "Yeah, Renaissance means something old." So I'm going with his logic.
Renaissance means the birth of something new.
Exactly. This is the birth of something new, refreshing.
Oh, it's the birth. It's the birth of Sinnoh.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you, Zoro. Beat that, Koro. Beat that. Anyways, one thing I've been praying for Pokemon games to do, and I know they've done it already with XD and Gyarados, but I now play those games, but I wanna. This is one of the games where like you could build a team from what it shows us, which I'm pretty sure that's the case, right? This is literally you get to build your team like a traditional Pokemon game, right?
Yeah.
Okay, okay, good. I need confirmation. So yeah, I'm happy for that. I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to that.
Yeah,
Also,
in the trailer we see the 6 Pokeballs. So
oh, so yeah, I'm looking forward to this game. This game is probably one of the games I'm mostly hyped for. And also, I just love the history. Like we're gonna learn lore about Pokemon more than we don't know about. Like one thing I always love out of Pokemon is when they dive into the past, specifically in movie Forever, because there's a moment where we see an old Pokeball. I love that. So we're gonna see old-fashioned Pokeballs for the first time ever, and I'm looking
yeah,
forward to that. There's just like
I wanted a Sinnoh sequel. I got a prequel. It's Generation Zero.
Generation Zero. We're calling it that. Isn't that one already? Oh wait, no. Anyways, but
It's Sinnoh prequels.
but one thing I am happy for is that Arceus, from what it looks like, Arceus is gonna have a role in this game. Because why would you have the name Pokemon?
Yes, it's not a Toys R Us boy. It's not a Toys R Us boy anymore. He's now a god,
He's
as
a
he should.
he's a true god, a god of destruction. Dragon Ball Z, tournament power. Pokemon's going to tournament.
But Rowlet is also there.
Rowlet is Champa. Damn it, he's Champa. To people who know about Dragon Ball
Well, that
Z,
makes
you
sense.
know who Champa is. Anyways,
Alright, let's try not get. Yeah. Oh. Also,
lazy ass bastard. What's up, Red Rose?
so we on Legends
We're on
Arceus.
Legends now.
Yeah,
Alright,
Legends
I don't
Arceus.
mind missing. Alright. Well, can I go because I missed out on DP
Go ahead.
remake?
If you want to go ahead and talk about DP, go ahead.
No, it's okay. It's okay because I don't want to
Alright,
talk
well,
and
I
shit.
was pretty much done. Like,
So
I was just saying, like, I'm looking forward to the game. Like, it looks
yeah,
beautiful. It looks like
yeah,
they're putting in the effort. That's one thing I'm happy for. They're putting in the legitimate effort. And folks, people, I want us to pay
yeah,
attention to this.
exactly.
This is a good example of being patient. Dang it! I'm not saying what all of us here, because I'm sure we can all agree.
and also Game Freak is listening to the fans. They gave the remakes to another company to have the entire staff focus on this new project. They gave Masuda to the staff to make a point that if the remakes flop and Legends succeed, you have Masuda to blame for that.
Yoda Masuda,
Mm,
your ass is on the rise right now. Anyways,
Everyone's saying, oh, everyone's saying, oh, yada yada yada. The Z axis is cursed every time Pokemon went to 3D, and that's kind of true in terms of Masuda being the director and not the producer, like he was in Diamond and Pearl. Because now in Diamond and Pearl he was a producer, and now for the remakes he's being a director, like he was a director since X and Y. And look what the games are since Iwata kicked the bucket and the other guy Omori, it's basically joining him. It's
mm,
like it's like water and oil, and you cannot they cannot be mixed. Or if they
yeah.
do, something will not be great. Yeah, but yeah, Legends Arceus.
all right. But that's all I gotta say. Red Rose, I know you're on next, so go ahead.
All right. So yeah, I'm like everyone else. I'm really excited about this game. So I actually have a lot to say about it. So one thing, firstly, is the starter choices. That is pretty cool. Like, yeah, it's such a random mix, but also not because I think it's it. Well, like I was
They
talking
make
to friends
they
about
make
this, and I
sense.
was
They have historical significance.
They do.
yeah,
Yeah, they do. They do. Do you
yeah.
want to
Well,
continue, Red Rose? Red
yeah,
Rose, continue, and
I
then
do.
after you finish, I'll add on to everything you say.
Well, firstly, the setting looks like it's pre, it's ancient Japan, so
The Renaissance.
um, yeah, not I don't think so, but yeah. Firstly, I think it. Firstly, the weapons types of was for example, samurai is a samurai, and then you have Decidueye as an archer, two very prominent combat classes used for fighting, and then you have in the middle you have Typhlosion, which could, in my opinion, is more like kind of firepower, so more stuff like guns, cannons, that kind of weaponry. So for me personally, that's how I see it. It's like all three of them kind of have kind of war symbolism, especially since it's you know feudal feudal Japan. So I think that perhaps there will be some kind of massive battle war or warlike thing happening. I don't know how it links up with X and Y. I don't know if they will tie it into the Thousand-Year War that happened, but we'll have to see. Also, in the trailer when you saw the starters, there were it. I don't think it's like too far back because they have books and writing, which is like normal
Yeah,
legible writing.
it's not
So it's not.
it's not that far back as you may think.
Yeah, yeah. So that's yeah. It's
I'll
also
I'll
it's not Starmac.
I'll
It's correct.
I'll say the time period and my theory block Blitz talk TM after Zoro speaks his mind first.
All right, cool. All right. Also, I can't believe Arceus is finally getting its own game. That's
Arceus.
like it's shut up. Anyway, it's so like exciting because it's never really been implemented. It's always been an event Pokemon. you literally could not really get it any other way. It was just wasn't that interesting, especially since it's like the god of Pokemon. We get to see more lore on it, especially in its Sinnoh movie when they actually went back to the past to where Arceus was.
Mm-hmm.
I think also
Arceus.
yeah, yeah, right.
I got
Also,
Arceus.
it could be interesting to see Celebi tie in because obviously that's a time travel Pokemon. Perhaps like later on in the anime, once they're done with Galar stuff, they may have an arc because with Tokyo and Celebi, maybe they get transported back while in Sinnoh investigating because with Gen 4, Johto and Sinnoh are very closely linked. You have the Sinjo ruins, which is also the Sinjo ruins is also linked to how you can get Arceus in a special event in those games.
Not to mention that in the
Uh,
games, in Arc Soul Silver, we have the event of the radio tower. So if they do the radio tower heist and journeys with Giovanni, we might learn more about Giovanni's past. We might have a
they would
cameo of
never do
Silver.
that.
Um,
It'd be cool, but
we
they
we
would
can get the
never do
GS
that.
ball. We can get the GS ball, ladies and gentlemen. Or maybe we can see Spiky here Pichu in the main anime.
Yeah, it'd be really cool, and Go would need a Pichu for his Pokedex anyway. But what I was also gonna say was just regaining my train of thought that. Hmm. Oh yeah, not only as just a really sick arc for the anime, because also Go's gonna have to encounter Arceus at some point. For
Yeah, go
like,
capture
we're gonna
Zark.
see.
Go capture Zarkus, and then he shows up to Mew. Hey, I got your daddy. What are you gonna do?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I caught God. Now it's time to capture Jesus.
It's also fully single player, which means that it's definitely going to be story based, 100%.
Yeah, like you don't have
Also,
Wi-Fi.
in the
Like
trailer, they said that it was going to be um an action RPG like Kingdom
yeah,
Hearts or Final Fantasy.
yeah.
Yeah, but we could see them
Every
selecting moves.
every other game is just
Yeah.
RPG. This is single player action RPG. Why single player? Because you only have one version. So therefore, there will be no version exclusives, and since there is no Wi-Fi, no GTS, no nothing, because you're in the past, you cannot connect to anyone. This is just story. You want to battle? Buy the BS games.
Mm, yeah. Aside from that Celebi stuff, oh boy, I'm also really, really, really hoping that we at least get to see some. There's something to do with Team Galactic going on because the symbols on the protagonists
Yeah.
are very, very similar.
Yeah,
It could tie it, and it
it's one of the
also.
kanjis. It's one of the kanjis because Team Galactic in Japanese Gingadan, uh, Ginga meaning galaxy. The symbol in the symbol in the vestments in the outfit of the Protex. It's the symbol for Gin in Ginga, but because it's alone, it doesn't mean galaxy. It means silver because people back in the day they used silver armor while traveling, and they have this ninja like outfit, but it's modernized because you see the because ninja did not wear black. They wear black more as sleeves, and on the legs they wore a dark blue, and that's what the protects wear. You wanted to fuse with Ash Greninja. You are now Ash Greninja. You're welcome.
Yeah. Also, because reincarnation's always been a thing that's kind of been mentioned in Pokemon, but obviously these are Lucas and Dawn's ancestors. Either that or Lucas and Dawn are ancestors of these protagonists. We don't know if like their canon names yet. We don't
Honestly,
know like
honestly, they can bamboozle us like Sinnoh in a time of old, and we think it's a prequel, and it's actually a sequel, and it's like, for example, it's like in Breath of the Wild, like you have the ancient vibes, but it's years and years into the future, and Sinnoh got demolished.
Yeah.
Like I would love that bamboozle, like, oh, it's a prequel. No, it's a sequel. years into the future of the Pokemon world, and you have to rebuild everything anew because a big calamity happened. Giratina? Because
Hmm.
that's the thing, like Giratina can distort dimensions, so I would love the idea that this is Sinnoh before Giratina got banished a second time, the time that we are not told, because like all myths and legends, not everything written in the books happens the way it did, and sometimes information is omitted. So maybe Sinnoh is the way it is without routes or whatever more, because it's prior to the banishment of Giratina, and because of that banishment, the region got reshaped into the Sinnoh that we know. You know, the Sinnoh with the 30 routes.
Oops, sorry about that.
Yeah, that man, I know we've talked about this previously, but like I'm really excited to see what they do with like the overworld, because you think we'll be able to like actually go inside of Mount Coronet? I don't think so because, well, maybe, but well, maybe yeah, maybe like natural caves, but there's a lot of things in there that could be considered like man-made tunnels, like in the game. So maybe they won't have those.
Oh,
Well,
okay, yeah, makes like for example, the Oreburg mine in Oreburg, it will not exist because it's a mine. Like mining exists back in the day, but not
Yeah, like maybe it'll be
that advanced.
it'll be really cool, like if you can get like materials and stuff in this game too, because like it would be really cool if you go to where Orberg City will be
Hmm.
and you find like coal and shit there.
Yeah,
Like
like
God,
for,
I would love
yeah,
that.
because
like there's a cave,
and
there's like
and
some sort
and,
of cave
and
entrance or
yeah,
something,
and
and
with and if you choose Cyndaquil, you can actually, for example, warm yourself up if you go to where Snowpoint City will be. So for you to
whoa,
not for you to not black out, right? Like in Breath
yeah,
of the Wild, you have to wear warm clothes for you to not black out.
well,
So
and
because here's the thing, we will not have region we will not have version exclusives, but I think that the starter that we'll pick, it's going to influence the Pokemon that we will meet. For example, if we have Cyndaquil, Typhlosion, it's a Berserker Warrior Honey Badger. So you can have, for example, warm yourself up, make tents and camps, and get Pokemon in the honey trees. Oshawott becomes Samurott, so it cuts trees and pushes boulders, and you can find Pokemon in certain hidden grottos. Um, Darkrai,
Decidueye.
Rowlet becoming the Decidueye. Because it gets the ghost type, it can get some resonance with the spirit world, and you like the distortion world always exists, but it doesn't mean that you can access it. Maybe not in its entirety, but because of the archery and the ghost type of the CGI, maybe you can tap into remnants of the distortion world. So in a way, the starter that you pick will influence your adventure, and maybe because of these three Pokemon, this is why the starters are the way they are, and why you have the three types of grass, fire, and water. So these starters started, quote unquote, and pun intended, the triad, you know, the tradition, because that's
yeah,
the thing about Sinnoh. Sinnoh is a region of tradition. And to tackle upon the starters, because people are asking why these three. So here's the thing: the starters have influence in the Hainu culture. That's the ethnicity of the Hokkaido, where Sinnoh is. So uh, archers, warriors, and samurais. Not to mention that for Cyndaquil, Johto, the Sinjo ruins, Art Gold Soul Silver, Gen 4, it's connected to Sinnoh. It's in the same generation.
hmm,
Oshawott, Oshawott, it's from Unova. Unova, it's America. And Japan and America always had great connections, sometimes for the bad, sometimes for the better, sometimes not for the great. Pearl Harbor. So we get Oshawott represent. So yeah, we have Oshawott to represent Unova, and Unova was in the same engine, the Nintendo DS, as Gen 4, and we have Rowlet, you know, for the archery, and also because of the pilgrimage and voyages between Hawaii and Japan archipelagos. And being the grass type, Alola talks about space time, and the Sinnoh also talks about space time. So we have regional interference, generational interference. We have the mythos because they praise honey badgers, they praise porcupines because that's the thing about the Cyndaquil line. It's a mouse, a porcupine, and then a honey badger. they praise owls, they praise otters. Not to mention that Cyndaquil in some capacity. It's they also are because of the shogunate. The shogunate military, they had firepower, fire armor. So I really want the idea that maybe the starters from coming from other regions, but being in Sinnoh in the past or the Sinnoh of old, maybe we can get Sinnoh variants of their evolutions. For example, Cyndaquil gets ground type because it's always digging. Samurott gains the steel type because it's a samurai. Or maybe the Sigui because it doesn't tap into the cosmic energy of Lunala. The Sigui never gains the ghost type.
Uh,
They can do it. Not to mention that we don't have abilities because this is before the Pokédex was a thing. So, a not the abilities are there, but to not break the immersion, they were not discovered or registered yet. Or B, because no abilities means that Arceus doesn't have multi-type. So maybe Arceus, this is where Arceus was in his prime before splitting the plates and multi-type being a thing. Therefore, Generation Zero. Therefore, we will see Arceus in the prime of his power.
real quick, I just want to bring up something you just said. It's just interesting, Coral, about you said something about them having like old variants of their what was it that you said about like something about like the old selves, like the old forms? Because that's something very similar to I mentioned to Trey long ago. I told him like it would be interesting if Pokemon would do this thing called ancestral forms. Basically, a concept that I came up with. Basically,
Yeah,
like
because because it's if it's only for the final evolutions, Ash and Dawn can have Sinnohan Typhlosions, and Ash can have a Sinnohan Samurott with his Oshawott, and the Sinnohan Decidueye with his Rowlet. We don't know. We don't know the curveballs that they can have. Not to mention that we don't have Wi-Fi. Therefore, we don't have because there's no league, there's no trainers. Our money, our currency will have to be different because we cannot battle for money. We don't have markets to buy items. We don't have so maybe we need to craft our own pokeball. More on that later. And we have to use the
oh, I
berries
would
from the
love
wild
it
to,
if there was a
to
mini
create
game.
to create our own potions and maybe poffins, like
I would love that if we have to customize our own material. Like I would love that. I love doing that in like other games like Minecraft, Monster. Well, I don't know Monster Hunter does it, but you can to say like
yeah.
being able to create your own
But yeah, like
equipment.
create basically brew our own potions. Like okay, I have a potion that cures 20. I have two orange berries. Each orange berry cures 10 HP. So I will mix the orange berries to create a potion that cures 20 HP. But if I capture a milk tank and I milk the milk of the milk tank, I get Mumu milk that restores 20 HP. So if I get a milk tank and two orange berries, I can create an hyper potion. Or maybe you can brew poffins with the Joy-Con or something. Again, there is amazing possibilities for this. The Pokeballs. I want to talk about the Pokeballs now because the Pokeball from Samuel Oak, that's a Pokeball with the switch thing. So and because Oak, this is like a Pokeball from the 1950s, 1960s. So it's not a it's anime. We cannot mix anime and the games. The modern Pokeballs, like modern quote unquote Pokeballs based on metal instead of wood, like these ones are, because we have three types of Pokeballs. We have the classic, those are the apricorn Pokeballs from Kurt in Johto. The classic Pokeballs date 4 to 7 centuries ago. We have the so those are the classic, and then we have the modern. That's from 1925 from Professor Westwood in the anime, and those created the Oak Pokeballs in the 50s, 60s of the anime world. And now we have the contemporary Pokeballs. That's the one that we know, the classics, like the turning of the millennium. So we have classic, modern, and the advanced, the ones that we know. So here's the thing: The ones that they show, they have a zipper and a button for exiting steam. So it's about the industrial revolution in Japan. And the industrial revolution in Japan began 1 century after in England. So it's mid 19th century. Mid, so we have three possibilities because it's about technology that's 150 years ago. We have the outfits that's 50 years ago, but we also have the starters that's for 100 years ago. And let me explain. In the mid of the 19th century, that's where Japan went from the Edo period to the Meijin era. And that's because of the fires of Edo. The fires of Edo, it was basically people burning cities for the shogunate to basically get demolished, basically a coup d'etat by basically burning government buildings, and that is what inspires the burning of the towers in Ekritik. If this game takes place 150 years in the past, the year that the first Indigo League took place, and maybe if the Sinnoh League is more recent or at the same time as the Indigo League, that we need to discover. But if this game takes place in the year when the towers were burned, there's your Johto thing. If it's 100 years ago, and I'm saying this as if I was playing in 1999, so in the turning of the millennia, because Johto and Sinnoh happen in the same time. We have the war between Hokkaido and Russia, because Russia, they had the Iron Island, the New Moon, the Full Moon, and also the Battle Zone, and also the Lily of the Valley Island, with the sea break for Shaman. Those were once Russian settlements, like how Alaska was once Russia instead of being American. So if this is 100 years ago, we can have, for example, a Golden Kamui Princess Mononoke kind of vibe for this Pokemon Breath of the Wild, because feudal medieval, that's 12th to 15th century. We are talking about Edo to Meijin era, that's Samurai X, that's Golden Kamui, that's Princess Mononoke, okay? Don't confuse feudal with Meijin era. So, and because of all of the war that Russia and Japan were in, Japan had to make allies. So this is before the First World War, and by making allies, they had to have embassies of other countries there. That's why we have the flags and the starters. We are basically going into a place of a professor, and that professor is an ambassador. We don't know who he is, or he or she. It can be an ancestor of Rowan. It can be an ancestor of Oak. And this leads to the third possibility, being in the Showa era because of the outfits. The Showa era, it's after World War II. So in the actual 40s, 50s. And if it's 50 years ago from the time of the actual Diamond and Pearl, it means that you are playing as a Holocaust survivor in Japan, like a victim after the Pearl Harbor and Hiroshima, Nagasaki. You are, even though Hiroshima, Nagasaki was in Owen, in Kyushu, not in Japan. But 50 years ago, in the timeline of Pokemon, that's the year where Professor Oak was born. So maybe you can, if the professor is a, maybe it can be Oak's father. You can see Professor Oak being born, like how Lei is in the anime, even though we don't see it, but it's shown. Um, we can see 10-year-old Rowan. Maybe Rowan will be our rival. We don't know. Uh, Maybe we can see younger versions of Bertha of the Elite Four, Cynthia's grandmother, and also Cyrus's grandfather. Maybe the professor is Cyrus's grandfather, because maybe Cyrus decided to recreate Team Galactic, but use the symbol of his grandfather. And basically, Team Galactic back in the day, they were more of a survey corps, instead of reshaping the world, and people played allegiance to Cyrus because of the old tradition instead of the nihilistic approach that he had on the world. Because who would follow a nihilist? Cyrus has no charisma whatsoever. Or maybe because this is Lucas and Dawn, but in again, um, 1 century ago, roughly, maybe this is the world without emotion, without spirit that Cyrus in one timeline succeeded and created, and the protags are just, afterthoughts or images from the memories that Cyrus had of the actual protagonists of Diamond and Pearl. Again, this is set up to be a prequel, but it can be a sequel after a great calamity. We might have, for example, Giratina pulling off a Ganondorf and we do not know of. And of course, the Triforce, the Lake Trio are the Triforce, power, emotion, knowledge, and maybe we don't see abilities, we see moves, we see types, but why are we building the Pokédex? What's the Pokédex? We are going to discover why the Pokédex is called the Pokédex, but it's the illustration encyclopedia, and we have books, we have kerosene lamps. So yeah, it's from 50 to 150 years ago in the past. And let's not forget the fact that so Professor Rowan and the time and Giratina. Oh yeah, because we have people don't know of Giratina. Giratina is just down there. So if you think about it, the Creation Trio. If you discount Giratina, you have the creator of the Creation Trio, and that's Arceus. So we have Arceus, Dialga, Palkia, and then the Lake Trio. Those are 6 Pokemon. Therefore, I like to believe and headcanon right now that the reason why people can only have 6 Pokemon at a time, it's not because of cost maintenance of the wild, but more as of a religious respect for the Holy Six. You have the Sinister Six in Spider-Man. Here you have the Sacred Six. Whew!
God, that was impressive, Coral. That was impressive. You need a drink?
Also, if we can ride all of the Pokemon, I actually want to climb Mount Coronet on my Luxray. And that's why we only have mainland Sinnoh, because the other islands, they are covered in clouds, because that's the enemy. It's Russia. We,
Yeah,
Team,
the
Team
enemy
Soviet,
is Russia.
Team
So,
Soviet, calling it right now. Team Soviet,
Team
Galactic Soviet.
Soviet.
I wanna.
Hey, Galactic Soviet, GS, Gold and Silver.
And then we get Pokemon Legends Ho-Oh. Or Pokemon Legends
Oh,
Celebi.
Oh
that's
my
the
god.
thing. Now that's the thing. People now say, "Oh, Unova remakes or for example, Black and White 3." No, 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 no. They can use this to their advantage, because we can have Legends Kyurem and not Legends Kyurem, because Kyurem has 2 games. We can have Legends Zygarde, and Zygarde gets his own game, and we can see the aftermath after the war of Kalos. Maybe AZ can be in the Sinnoh prequels, because he's 3,000 years old.
Wait, he is?
Um, yeah.
What? Wait, what?
So yeah. So here's the thing: we might see AZ now in Sinnoh. If we get a Legend Zygarde in Generation 11, or the Pokemon Z that we all wanted, that's going to be an aftermath after the Kalos War. If we do a Legends Kyurem, it's not going to be Legends Kyurem, because we have 2 Kyurem games. Therefore, we're going to have Legends, insert the name of the original dragon, and that will be, basically a prequel to the. You have Pokemon Conquest, that's feudal, that's medieval. Maybe we will have a war between the princes, and we see, the forming of the Unova region long ago. Like, your Unova remakes, your Gen 5 remakes, they're not going to be remakes. It's going to be a story. It's going to be Pokemon Legends, and insert the name of the original dragon.
Or it could just be
Yeah,
called.
yeah.
Or
That's gonna be really cool though if they're able to do that.
or they could just call Pokemon
You
Legends the Ultimate Dragon.
so yeah, you see the primal Kyurem, or the original dragon with the God Stone, splitting into 3. And maybe with Zygarde, we see Zygarde detaching themselves from the perfect form into the cells or whatever, maybe we can, or maybe they'll do a bamboozle and they do a Pokemon W, and W meaning double V. We might have one V being our Volcanion and the other V being the Team Flare artificially enhanced Volcanion. Um, Also, in the games, when they show the route where people do the dodge, the dodge roll, that means that we might get attacked by Pokemon, and therefore we are going to have our own HPS trainers. Um, we saw a narrator for New Snap and also for but that's the trailer narrator. We can have voice, but that doesn't mean that we cannot have voice acting in Sinnoh prequels. But if they do voice acting, I hope that at least it's just for cutscenes. Make
Yeah.
cutscenes immersive with voice acting. That's a step in the right direction. Don't give us too much already, but at least try. Also, in the games, when Dawn does the flip and captures Shinx, because we do when she captures Shinx, we see a bridge. So I like to believe that's Route 205, the place where you capture Shinx, and that is also the place where in the future the Valley Windworks will be, and in the north you see the place where the Fuego Ironworks will be. The forest, we see a shrine destroyed. That will most likely be the place where you can. It's going to be the Moss Rock. So the forest is Eternal Forest because it's a dark forest. Um. So,
What
yeah,
if what
man,
if we like
there's so much. There's so much that they can do. They have again all possibilities in your hands. That's within the trailer.
what if we have like a we get to do like the thing that leads to the odd keystone, like the first like people to
Yeah,
see all these
because
characters.
Spirit Tomb was trapped in the Spirit Tomb was trapped in the Hollow Tower 500 years ago. So that's even older than the premise of the games, at least timeline wise. Yeah.
Eh, well, maybe they'll retcon that, but I think it'd be really cool to be able to, because
Oh,
like
Oh
definitely.
hell
Yeah.
yeah.
maybe like in the overworld or something, the section by Salacion Town, where Salacion Town would be. That is,
Oh, oh,
there's
that
just like a
reminds me.
dark area or something, and Spiritomb's just like
Oh,
ruling
yeah, like
over, and you have to
yeah.
seal them away.
Also, don't forget that the Solacian ruins are 15 centuries old, so we might see the Solacian ruins as they are, quote unquote. But we might see unknown because unknown are the arms of Arceus. So
Yeah.
yeah,
Just
again, we have tons of potential.
yeah, there's
I
a
wonder if I wonder like we are forming the legacy of Pokemon Trainer. We are forming the Pokédex and what the trainer is meant to be. I'm just figuring it out. If we have if we have the late 19th, early 20th century version of Lucas and Dawn, are we going to have Barry in this game? Also, speaking of such, I don't believe that the starter town will be Twin Leaf
no,
because
no.
if this is a settlement town, there is one thing that all Japanese settlement towns have, and that's being near the sea. So they will need a port and a harbor for commerce and for business and also for foreign trade and travel.
So do you
So
think it's
I
gonna be at a
so
Sunny Shore
so I
City?
like so I like to believe that Slateport is in Holland, by the way. So I like to believe that we are going to be in Pastoria,
No, I said Sunny Shore.
sunny, sunny shore, but the most likely it's Canalave because Canalave
Yeah.
it's where the library is,
Oh, that's
and
right.
and because of that, who knows if all of the books in Canalave are books written by the protagonist that we are going to play as and the professor that we exist the player as. Imagine that all of the survey that we do in Sinnoh later on become books that the professor publishes and then are recorded in the Canalave library.
So the protagonist is the reason why we have all the info in the library.
Yeah, we are playing as librarians, bro.
Who would have
We are
thought?
playing as
Who would have thought that librarians would be cool to play as? Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. Anyways, continue though.
no, I'm just trying to, trying to figure out like more. I told about the Shink stuff and the places that they will be in the future. I talked about the starters. I talked about the inspirations. I talked about the places. Uh, again, man. Oh, Arceus needs a buff.
Yeah.
200 and 200. They are God.
Mhm.
Therefore, 200 in each stat. Overhaul 1200, and they'll become more powerful than Eternamax Eternatus, but we cannot use it, just like Eternamax Eternatus. But give Arceus something, Give like multi-type before multi-type, because he's the light that fragments into the rainbow that all the types are. So I'm not saying Eternamax Arceus or Primal Arceus, but cosmic or divine. Literally call him divine Arceus or something.
Yeah. I'm just there's so many questions, man.
Also, um, uh, singularity, because space time, it's a singularity, and Arceus, it's one. They gave life to all. Singularity Arceus.
Hmm.
In the trailer, we do see a book with Sinnoh, mainland Hokkaido, not the other islands. But
Yeah.
we see that book in top of two other books.
The
I-
DLC.
Oh.
exactly. Exactly. Oh, because here's the thing: we might get DLC for the islands of the West, and that's Iron Island, that's Full Moon, and the New Moon for Lucario, Cresselia, and Darkrai, and we might get DLC for the areas of the East that are the Lily of the Valley Island, for
Hmm.
where the League will be, and where the Sea Break Path is for Shaman, and also for the Battle Zone. Calling it right now, we're going to have and because of that, because there are maybe boats will exist, but as steamboats, or you basically surf with your Pokemon instead of capturing the boats. They're like, because you can surf from Sunny Shore to the Pokemon Island, but from Snow Point to the fight area, and from Canalave to the Iron Island, and the other two, you have to capture a boat instead of surfing because it's a long path. But if this is about exploration, maybe going under the sea, we can see some Manaphy, some Fiona. Basically, you have to pay DLC to use surf.
God dang it! I thought we were done with surf.
I don't think the underground will be a thing, because the Sinnoh underground started with Rourke's grandpa,
Yeah.
Byron's father. So Sinnoh underground will not be here, and of course, because this is in the Sinnoh of old, no contests. But I hope
Yeah.
that Brilliant and Shining, they do contests justice with the seal capsules and all, and the poffins. Do contests with Wi-Fi. Do a VGC coordinators, instead of battling just doubles in the worlds. No, actually have a coordinators for VGC, coordinators VGC. Pokemon Worlds in London, and you have like this table where people are doing contests with their Pokemon, because Megas, when a Pokemon Mega evolved, they gave extra art points when you use them in contests. And would you really use Dynamax in contests? No, you would ruin the contest hall.
Yeah, true.
That's fair.
Um, yeah.
What?
There's just so many questions about these games, man. I'm so excited.
I think we can all
Also,
agree. We
al-
well,
And
also,
also,
also, also, I want for, like, in the anime, besides the time travel arc with Tokyo and Celebi, I want for Dawn to appear in the anime, and she will do a contest appeal round in this more traditional uniform.
oh,
Because
I get
contests
it.
in cinema, yeah, because contests in cinema are about outfits. Make Dawn wear this outfit for at least once.
Like a nice
You won't.
like a nice nod to her like ancestor.
Yeah, it's a great nod, you know.
I would not mind if she was that though. I would not mind that. That would be nice. Well, she you don't want to say the
Yeah.
anime Dawn wearing this. I would like that.
Yeah.
But we can all agree, Legends has a big potential to be one of the greatest games, and we're all hoping for the
Yeah,
best.
because we have no currency, we have no healing. How are we going to get items, Pokeballs, money? You know, it's going to be interesting.
I'm looking forward to it. I'm sure you guys are looking forward to it.
I really want for our starter to be influential in our adventure. You know,
Yeah.
and the Pokemon that we and also the overall Pokemon that we capture, right? Like for example, you capture Lucario, like because if you can dodge roll, it means that you can also get attacked by Pokemon. Because if you can attack Pokemon by throwing them Pokeballs without actually battling, um, it means like you can have a more realistic approach. It means that Pokemon can attack you without you having your partner by your side. So imagine, for example, you have a Luxray, you can climb Mount Coronet on Luxray's back. You have Typhlosion, you can have a warm camping at night. You need to capture berries, but they are in a very tall tree. The CGI archering their way. Oh, there's a tree. Samurott cut like the Pokemon being the living HMs, you know. Not to mention that I would love the idea, for example, oh, you're camping at night. If you have a Chingling, that will be your alarm clock, or basically seeing the surroundings. If you have a Lucario, you can sense Pokemon attacking you, and then for you can dodge uh, faster without being attacked because Lucario is being your vibe check with Hora, you know? Done, done, done. Sinnoh, do this, come on. I'm feeding you, I'm spoon feeding you ideas, Nintendo. Like,
Yeah,
do it.
Nintendo is a baby though. Even though it's hungry, it doesn't want to eat the dang food. It just spurts all over its mouth.
Yeah.
I'm just saying the facts,
And
sadly, but hopefully they'll.
Yeah, and sadly, Goggle, sorry for stealing the show, but I had my thoughts, and I think everything was spoken. I think everything I wanted to say was spoken.
I think we all said what we had to say, but Zoro, I don't know if you have anything else to bring up. Zoro,
What was that?
do you have anything else you want to bring up?
No, I think I'm good.
All right, well,
Happy Pokemon Day.
Yeah.
I don't know who else is still watching, but if anybody's there, go to my channel and watch my top 20 episodes of Advanced Generation.
shameless
Yeah,
plug. Yeah, no, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, also go to mine and see the videos that I've been cooking up there.
Yeah.
All right, well, folks, like,
A journey's rewrite, a direct reaction.
well, folks,
I had an idea for a Sinnoh Star tournament, but well, I'm glad I posted that before, you know, the games were actually announced. Because RIP Sinnoh Star tournament.
well,
F.
but folks, like Zoro said,
F in the chat for the SST.
like Zoro said earlier, today is a big day because we're celebrating 25 years of
Also, I just want to say in regards to Pokemon Day, happy Pokemon Day, everybody. but like in the trailer, I actually love the fact that they show the manga and not the Adventures one. They show also the Clefairy one. They show everything. And in the iconic moment for Best Wishes, they show Emolga shocking everyone, including Bianca. Like apparently Best Wishes did not have an iconic moment. Like Ash beating Stefan, no. Ash meeting Zekrom, no.
Yeah,
They decided
that was so random.
like even they do that. Best Wishes doesn't have a memorable moment. They went from Ash meeting Pikachu, Ash versus Gary, Ash versus Brandon, Ash versus Paul, Ash versus Clement because he didn't want to see Greninja lose, and Ash versus Kukui and Ash meeting Go. Unova, it's the re-meeting of Bianca and Emolga shocking everyone. If the best moment of Unova is Emolga shocking the characters, that's a wink that they know that Unova fucking sucked.
I still like Unova.
Pretty much.
So do I, but well, come on, man.
If I was in charge of this whole thing, I would have put Charles up for his Dragonite. I'm just saying. Those are
Also, rip the GBA ports for Fire Red and Leaf Green.
yeah.
Apparently, it's Pokemon 25th, but they didn't care about Kanto. About damn time.
Finally.
About damn
Finally.
time.
Now,
Bro,
folks.
yeah, imagine they announced Pokemon Legends and it's for Kanto. That would have been cringe.
I would've-
Pokemon Legends Mew.
I would have hated that. Would have hated that so much. But folks, like we said, happy Pokemon Day. 25 years, and we're going strong. Zoro, thank you for joining us.
We'll be here next week. We'll be here next week in 5 years to the future as well to announce Gen 10 for the post-Switch console.
Gen 10. Gen 10 Omniverse.
Shut up,
Gen 10.
shut up,
Gen
shut
10.
folks. You will
All
find.
right, I think that's a good place.
No,
to
no, no,
stop.
no. Gen 10. Gen 10. It's the fan name for Generator X and Ben 10 crossover. Come
Oh
on.
my goodness.
Gen 10.
Koro, Zoro,
Jan.
thank you for joining me. Thank you for joining on this greatest day of all, Pokemon Day. Okay then.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for having us.
And Red Rose was here too, so check him out on Twitter and YouTube. If he do YouTube, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
You can find him in the
Yeah.
description. You can check everyone in the description below.
Take care, everyone.
Koro has uploaded some new videos, so
Yeah.
has Zoro. So check them out. And with that said, we will see you guys next week. So with that said, happy Pokemon Day, 25 years.
Oh yeah, next week we are going to cover the 2-in-1 special.
Listen, you, listen. I'm looking forward to the episode, so hush up.
Hey, everything is better than Marsh Stomp, you know?
No. Marshawn's too good. Too good. It's too good.
They ruined Rock's Pokemon.
Nothing is better than that episode in AG where Gulpin gets really big.
No,
Dynamax before Dynamax.
Nothing's ever gonna beat that episode. I love that episode. No other show can do that. Anyways, all right, folks, we're heading off. Good night. Good night.
I'm really glad that the people in the voice call now are the AG stands.
AG for life. Beat that Trey, you stupid. I'm leaving. I'm leaving. I'm leaving.
Stupid son of a-
Before we start cursing.